It's well known that sales is one of the most important aspects of freelance work, as it's really difficult to gain any clients without actually going out there, putting yourself out, and trying to sell. But also at the same time, it tends to be one of the most daunting for most people, including myself. That's why for the past few weeks, sales has been one of the biggest focuses of things that I've been trying to learn, pouring over different techniques, best practices, and such, and just learning how to find potential clients, how to communicate to them, and sell, and with the goal of landing a project. So today I'm going to be going through some of my current sales process, what I have worked out from the studying and the things that I'm going to be implementing moving forward. Not doing this to teach sales at all because I'm still learning and figuring everything out myself, but I do still think it's valuable to just kind of put this out there as, hey, here's where I'm at the moment, and then as I progress, just continuing to update, because I know my sales process is going to change quite rapidly. It already has changed a lot, even just within a week, as far as what I'm going to be doing. So with that in mind, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so this is just kind of going to be a general overview of my sales strategy, what I currently have laid out as far as how I'm going to be reaching out to people and trying to walk through a sales conversation with them. So this isn't really me trying to teach anything because I don't really know what I'm doing yet. It's just me documenting what I've got going forward, just to kind of see where this ends up. But starting out, I do have it broken into a few different sections. First off being sourcing prospects. So this is where I'm just trying to find potential clients, people that I'm going to be reaching out to, finding the people that I want to work with before taking any next steps. So I know there's a ton of tools that can do this all for you automatically, right? You give it a few qualifiers and it'll give you back a list of thousands of people. At the moment, I'm not using any of those just because I'm not really putting a ton of money into this up front. It's mostly just my time at the moment that I'm investing. So really keeping it a manual but simple enough process just to kind of save that money. And then maybe once I have some actual clients and money coming in, that'll change to be able to actually invest into using some of those tools. As of right now, though, Google Maps, Facebook groups, and even the Yellow Pages are some of the main things I've been using. Funny enough, this book literally came in the mail a few days before I was starting to put this list together. So I literally just went through it, some of the different categories of people that I want to be working through, put that all into a list in Notion, as far as like putting their contact information, the business owner, their name, a few different things, as well as if there was anything specific to note about their website that needed improvement, like, that could be like technical information, or maybe there was outdated information, broken links, different stuff like that, that would be actively impacting their business. Just making sure to note all of that so I have it all in the same place for when I do reach out to them. And then the next step, which is where I'm at right now, because I've already got that list of the first people I'm reaching out to, but now I'm going through actually contacting them. So this is one of those points that I mentioned that's already changed, because I'm learning a lot and just figuring out how I'm doing this. Because starting out, my plan was I'm going to email these businesses, basically just something simple like, hey, I noticed some changes that could be made to help your business, some potential improvements on your site. If you're interested, let me know and I'll send you a video. And then I would just record a video walking through their site, kind of listing out the different things that could help. I don't think that's bad necessarily, but right now I don't have any backing. I don't have any proof to be like, hey, here's how I can actually help or anything like that. So the chances of people responding when I'm just like, hey, I'm just a random dude who doesn't really have a ton of experience, that kind of drops your chances of a response rate because there's very little to actually build trust. So because of that, I'm planning to change over to actually making cold calls, which I don't really like the idea of doing, just because, that's always a intimidating thing, at least for me. But that's my plan starting tomorrow, actually, is when I'm going to be starting to make those calls. So I'm going to go through the list of people who I've already emailed first, reach out to them, just be like, hey, I sent an email, wanted to follow up, see if you had received that, if you were interested. But then after I've gone through those, it'll just be completely cold contacts. So people I've never emailed, never reached out to, anything like that. I'm not trying to sell them anything over that first call, but really just trying to get them to agree to a meeting to where we can actually kind of walk through a few different things, see what their business needs and how I might be able to help with that. At the moment too, I also have a few different networking events that I have scheduled to be attending over the next few months. So I've got a few of those coming up that I'm going to be trying to attend. Never really done anything like that either, so I'm going to be spending some time kind of preparing for those, see if I might be able to connect with some other professionals in the web development area or people who are in need of those services. And then lastly on my list is actually in person. This isn't one that I'm really planning to do at the moment, but it's something that I'm aware of as a possibility, where whether there's businesses in my local area, things like that, being able just to go approach them, walk in, maybe if it's a service I use or different things like that, just to approach them in that manner. But as of right now, I'm planning on focusing on the cold calls. I think a benefit of that really too is there's a very immediate feedback loop, right? With email, I send a bunch of emails and then I wait. And then I see, okay, well, it's been a few days, no one's responded. Or maybe I did get a response, but it was negative or whatever. But it's spaced out. With cold calling, it's very immediate, right? Someone tells you they don't want to hear from you again. Okay, they don't. Someone's interested and you get an appointment set up. Great, what worked and you're able to build off of that immediately. So that's another thing that I really like about the idea of doing cold calls, even if it is really intimidating still. And then, right, after doing the calls, really the point of that is getting them to agree to having a meeting, which is going to be this sales conversation, but it's really not going to be me pushing, you need this, you need this, you need this. I want to focus on what their business need is. What are their different pain points, their goals, trying to focus on things like that rather than just the design and aesthetic of building a pretty website that'll look great and represent your brand. Because oftentimes that's not going to be the most important thing to a business owner. They're looking for things that are going to help them bring in more clients. Maybe it'll build trust by people. Maybe they'll actually be able to advertise their services better. I've heard of businesses who are they're trying to move into a more corporate audience, but they keep getting residential clients, things like that. So maybe try to structure their website and information in a way that really hits their target audience rather than bringing in a bunch of other clients that are still helping their business but are kind of distracting them from their main goals. So that's how I want to approach that conversation, is just really focusing on what their business needs and how my skill set in web development is actually able to help them reach those different goals. Starting out too, I am planning on offering this risk-free just because I don't have that backing and it's just a quick way to try to build trust with people. Now, I'm still going to be charging for it. It's just like, hey, if you don't end up using this, if this doesn't work for you and things like that, then we'll be able to work something out there to make this risk-free to the client as well. Now, once I have a few clients and I've got a few projects under my belt that have those results, that's going to change really quickly. So this is just starting out to help build that initial trust. So yeah, that's all of where I'm at the moment, the steps that I'm taking, the things that I'm doing. And then I do have a future plan of where I want to be. Now, I don't know if this is going to be 6 months down the road, a year, 3 years. I'm not sure at the moment, but I did kind of put a rough sketch together of where I do want to be with this, which is really just kind of automating a lot of the intake process through advertising and different things like that. So offering a free online presence consultation or something of the sort. So going back to where I mentioned how right now I was trying to email them, see if I could get people to come in and send them a video walking through their site. This would be kind of going back to that, but they would be coming in as a warm lead already through advertising. And instead of a video, I would likely just skip straight to a call. That way I'm jumping on a call with them on a Zoom video call where I can kind of walk through what their needs are, analyze their website, do a competitor analysis, different things like that. So that way they're already warmed up to it, which can then lead directly into the actual sales pitch. So I don't know when that is all going to be implemented. Really, my focus right now is just actually getting those first few clients. This was just kind of something I wanted to at least have a rough idea of as of right now. So with that being said, really just focusing on those key points of sourcing prospects, contacting them, having the sales conversation, and then building a website that actually delivers them results have been my focuses. And I'm just going to be really drilling down on that over the next few weeks. and I'm excited to see where this ends up. Anyways, thanks for checking this out, and I hope it was useful in maybe some facet, but if you do have any type of feedback or recommendation, I am more than interested in hearing. I'd love to hear what you have to say, because I'm just always looking to learn and to improve, build this up into something better than it is today.